perpendicular lines that go through a point on the graph, okay? So we're gonna follow these 5 steps every time that we do a problem like this, no matter what. So step 1, we're going to rewrite the equation in slope-intercept form if needed. If it's already given to us in that nice form, we don't have to do any work. Step 2, we're gonna identify the slope and substitute in either a parallel or perpendicular slope, depending on the question. Step 3, we're going to substitute the ordered pairs in for x and y. So you'll be given a point. That's your x and y variable that we'll plug in. Step 4, we're going to solve for a new b value, a new y-intercept. And then step 5, we're going to substitute our slope and our intercept back in to make a final equation. Remember, parallel lines have the same slope. Perpendicular lines have opposite sign reciprocal slopes. So let's take a look at number 1. It says, write the equation of a line that is parallel to y equals -2/3 x plus 1 that passes through the point -6, -1. So step 1 is to rewrite the equation. Do I need to rewrite that equation? No, it's already done for me. Okay. Step 2, identify the slope. What's the slope? Great. I'm going to highlight it. Okay. If we are writing the equation of a line that is parallel to that equation, what should I use for my slope? Yeah, I better use the exact same thing. So my slope is going to be -2/3. Not changing because it's parallel. And then it passes through the point -6, -1 on the graph. That's my x and my y. Okay. So step 3, we're going to substitute in our ordered pairs. So this is the part where we are going to plug in, and this is where it gets to be just a little bit of algebra. So we're going to write the slope-intercept form, y equals mx plus b. And all we're going to do is substitute in the values that we know. So what number are you going to plug in for your y? -1. What number are you going to plug in for your slope? -2/3 times. Now, what are you going to plug in for your x? Yeah, mx means m times x. We've got an x variable, yeah, which is -6. So this is multiplied times -6. And then we're going to put plus b. The reason we don't want to use the same b value is if we use the same b value, we're going to get the exact same equation. I don't want the exact same equation. I want an equation that is parallel, that has been shifted on the graph somewhere. So we're trying to solve for a new b value. Okay, this is just algebra. It might not look like algebra, but it's algebra. And it's fractions, your favorite. Okay, can I do anything on the left? Nope. Okay, on the right where you've got multiplication, my suggestion is the number that does not have anything underneath it. What can you put under it? Put a 1, and then that way you can multiply straight across on the top, multiply straight across on the bottom. So what is -2 times -6? +12 over, what's 3 times 1? 3, and then I bring down my plus b. Can you reduce 12 divided by 3? Yes, and you get 4. And then what? Subtract the 4, you're trying to get b by itself. What do you get for your new y-intercept? -5 is your y-intercept. So the last and final step, we solve for b. Step 5 is substitute your slope and your b value, your intercept, back into the equation because the question asks you to write an equation. So your final answer better be an equation. So what is my final equation going to look like? Y equals what? -2/3 x minus 5, or plus a -5 is fine. No, you're done. There's just a little bit of algebra. Okay. What questions can I answer? Feel okay?
Yeah.
Could you try the second one? Okay, I'm gonna give you a little hint for the second one. Why is the second one a little different? Yep, this one is in standard form. You have to change it to be slope intercept form before you do anything. Okay, so you better rewrite before you plug in. All right, I'm gonna give you 2 minutes. Give that one a try. And then we'll check. Go, 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 and talk to the people at your table.
But you don't hear it talking. Mr. Alonso,
Mhm.
are you scrolling?
You have to get water, but I gotta go.
I was like 5 minutes before you.
Just ask me.
30 seconds.
You're 30%.
Oh, yeah. Okay, thank you.
Pee on yourself, dude. Can I get water? Can I get water?
You can get water and then you can go to the bathroom.
Yeah.
Quickly, Doreen, quickly. All right, what did you get for that problem? Josh got y equals 1/3 x what? Minus 2. Did you get the same thing? 1/3 x minus 2? Question mark? Exclamation point. Question mark? Exclamation star. Okay, first of all, did you rewrite the equation correctly? Yeah, no, maybe so. Okay, that's okay. If you make a mistake, you fix it. Yeah, what? What's that sad face for? When you plug in, right? 1 times 3 is 3. 3 times 1 is 3. Is that what you got? 3 divided by 3 gives you 1. That's a positive 1. So you have to subtract from both sides to get the be all. So -1 minus 1 is -2. All right, what other questions do we have there? Question? Yes, no, maybe so. Okay, you're fine. Take a sec. So if it's not given to you in the right form, you've got to rewrite it. And then once you've rewritten it, then it's algebra to plug in to solve for your new B value. So if I were to graph both of these lines, they would not intersect. They'd have the same slope. They just would have different y-intercepts. Oogie, can we go on to the next one? Yes. Okay, now. Don't talk to me about it. Wait. Okay, next one. The next one is the exact same idea. The only thing that's different is it says write in the equation that is perpendicular. So it's the exact same thing. Only thing that's different is your slope. So if you're looking at number 3, what's the slope given to you? -2. If you're writing the equation that is perpendicular, what should your slope be? No. 1/2. Because this is a -2/1. So to flip it and change signs, that means your slope is a positive 1/2. And this is your X, this is your Y. Okay, I'm gonna give you 4 minutes. I want you to do 3 and 4. They're exactly the same. It's just perpendicular. All right, 4 minutes. Ready, go. And then once you got your answers, check with the people next to you. Oh, I didn't realize I was sitting on the phone. Wait, tell me, friends.
Looks like a fun.
What up, fam? Thank you. Right. Both of them.
They just keep 30 over 5.
Yes, it is. Okay, now be careful. You're writing the equation on a line that is parallel. Because so perpendicular means you have to flip that slope. Change the sign. It should be positive. This is a slope of 1. Yours needs to be. You just, this is the equation of a line that's parallel. That's great. Because there's nothing under the 2, so you can put a 1 underneath it. Be a positive 1. That's perfect. That's your new slope. That's what you're gonna use. Right, exactly. Comes positive. Yeah. Number 2. This one's good, but you want this is particular. So particular should be up or down. Which means it shouldn't be reliable. Like, what are you doing, children?
What are we doing?
I don't know, but nothing good. That's what I can tell you.
I'm just one day, I don't know what we're.
Well, then why don't you sit your butt down and not be running around?
That's young.
All right, check your number 3 at least. Y equals 1/2 x plus 1. So be really careful with your slope. This is a perpendicular problem, which means you must change your slope to be opposite reciprocal. If you kept it as a -2, then you wrote the equation of a parallel line, not a perpendicular line. Oh, question. When I plugged in, that's the plugin. So 4/2 gives me 2, and then I subtract 2 from both sides. Where are you getting a different number? Did you plug in 3 for y? Okay, well, answer on that one. So again, if you've got when you do this, you multiply on top and then multiply on the bottom. So 4 times 1 gives you 4, and then 2 times 1 gives you 2. So it should be 4/2, top and then bottom. Okay, well, 1/2 because the slope is a -2/1, and you flip it to be 1/2 and change the sign. Okay, let's look at number 4, which was kind of a crazy one. But for number 4, you had to rewrite the equation before you did anything. So sorry, mine's a little scrunched up at the top there. But when I rewrote the equation, I got y equals -5/3 x minus 7. And then when we are doing our perpendicular line, we have to change the slope. So it went from a negative to a positive, and then I made the reciprocal, they traded places. So -5/3, the perpendicular slope is +3/5. And then I went through and I plugged in my x and my y, and I solved for my b value again. So it was the same idea, except with a perpendicular line. I can tell you right now that you're going to see a lot of this on your midterm. They always do a lot of this on the midterm. I don't know why, but just, something to think about. All right, what questions can I answer so far? Comments, concerns, issues, nothing. You feel okay? So it's algebra, but then it's just making sure you use the right slope. If you use the wrong slope, you're going to get everything wrong. Okay, so be really careful. If it says parallel, it's the same slope, perpendicular, you got to change up the slope. All right, let's flip it over to the back. Don't be mean. Also, this is me. I said that this was the one class I wanted to record because I was like, oh yeah, this is a great class. This would be wonderful. Yeah.
Are you recording this?
Yes.
Yeah.
Right now. Yes. I record this almost every time, friends. Your faces are not in it. Your voices are in it. It is my face and my screen.
Oh, it's part of YouTube?
Yes.
Not tell myself having you on this. No followers. At 9 for one, yes.
Nobody's not.
And then
All I'm saying is my YouTube is pretty lit. I've got a lot of followers.
I'll watch one of your videos.
That's all I'm saying. I've got like 200 subscribers. Oh my God. I know. Subscribe to my channel. Oh my God. All right. On the back, number 5 and 6. Okay. It says, consider the graph of point Q and line N. Write the equation of a line that is parallel to line N that goes through point Q. It is literally the exact same thing as the front. The only thing that's different is instead of me giving you the equation, this time you have to write the equation based on the graph itself. Okay. So the first one is parallel, which means what about the slope? It's the same slope. Okay, so why don't we figure out what the slope is of this problem? What's the slope? It is rise over run. That's the slope. That would be run over rise.
6/2.
That would be a different graph. What did that say?
-6.
-6/2 because it's going downhill, right?
That's what I said.
You said 6/2. Don't make me call you out. Don't make me rewind the tape. Okay, -6/2 reduces to what? -3. Okay, so we're gonna use that slope because it is parallel, so it better be the same slope. Now, the only other thing you need is your X and Y coordinate. How do you figure that out? So on the front, I gave you the equation and I gave you the point, the X and Y. You have the equation, you've got the slope, you still need the X and Y. Where would I get that from? Nazir? What do you mean? Which one? Not quite. Good thought though. Where do I want my line to go through? Read the question. Goes through point Q. So I better have the coordinates of point Q because I want a line that is parallel, looks something like this, that goes through that point. So what are the coordinates of point Q? -4, 1. There's your X, there's your Y. Now you've got your slope, you got your X, you got your Y. Now it's time to plug in. So my Y value I'm going to plug in is 1. What am I plugging in for my slope? -3. What am I plugging in for my X? -4. And then I'm solving for B. And this is so easy because there's no fraction. So what do? Multiply -3 times -4, which is 12. And then to get B by itself, I subtract 12 from both sides. You get B equals -11. So what would your final equation be for this problem? Yeah. Perfect. Perfect. So you found the slope, you found the coordinates, and then you plugged in just like we did on the front. I will keep it there for like 2 seconds. Can you do number 6 very quickly? And then we'll finish 7 and 8, and then we'll be done. We've got 8 minutes, so I'm going to give you 2 minutes to do number 6. For number 6. Be careful, it says perpendicular. You good? Okay. Got 1 more minute for that problem. Mm-hmm.
Are you according to
Yes,
it's not?
I did. At the beginning of
I
class.
should make a TikTok.
No,
And like one of them teachers, like never because he said I'd blow up. I was
no.
like, the students were so cool, like me. She just like.
Okay. So I gotta like do dance moves and that's not my jam.
No, not.
I'm like an
that's not
uncoordinated
what TikTok
giraffe.
is. The teachers that have TikTok be cool, they be fine. And then if you teach it, then it's like we're doing your YouTube channel basically. But like, not all the math.
Okay, well, the whole point of it is the math. I'm not on it for like to look at myself. Why wouldn't I what? Look at myself? You know, that's not my cup of tea there. Not my cup of tea. All right, check your number 6 with mine. Does it look the same? So here's what's different. This is a perpendicular problem. Oh, so the slope was 2/2 or 1. The perpendicular slope would be -1. So when you plug in, you need to plug in -1 for your slope. If you did a +1, that's a parallel line. So if you made that mistake, maybe if you were smart, you would like circle those perpendicular problems and be like, put a big old star there and put be careful, change the slope, something. Because otherwise, you're just going to keep on making that same mistake. Okay, can I answer any questions? Or we feel okay? That's the y value of my coordinate point Q. So Q is at -1, +4. All right, I'm gonna go through the next 2 so rapidly and then we're done. Okay, we're not gonna do it. Number 7 says, consider the graph of point Q in line N. Write the equation of a line parallel to line N that goes through point Q. So here's my X and Y axis. Okay, if you look at point N, this is what kind of line? What? Vertical. Wow. Okay. So if I want a line that is parallel to this one, what kind of line should it be? If this one's vertical and I want it to be parallel, it should also be a vertical line. It needs to go through point Q. So this is your line right here that you want to write the equation of. Now, if you remember, all you have to do is write where it crosses either the X or Y axis. So does this line cross the X axis or the Y axis? X axis. At what number? Does it touch the X? At 4. So your equation is X equals 4. That's the answer. If it's Y equals, then it is horizontal. X equals is up and down. So the last one, number 8, says consider the graph. And you want it to be perpendicular through point Q. So here's point N. It's horizontal. If yours is perpendicular, what kind of line should it be? It should be a vertical line. What's the equation of this line right here?
-1, -2.
That's a point. That's not the equation of a line. X equals -1. It's just where it crosses the X axis. That's it. Okay, babies, you've got no homework tonight. You're welcome. Woo! You do tomorrow. We're going to switch up the order of the week. Shh, listen, we're going to switch the order of the week. Tomorrow, we are going to do an IXL. Yes, IXL tomorrow. So bring your computer. computer. I want
I didn't touch me, make the wrong stuff.
it. Yes, you did. All right, stop touching each other. Jeez Louise.